It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Test Miles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
Pal, Super Bowl Sunday, time to talk cars for the next 60 minutes on your weekly automotive radio experience. I'm Nick Miles, and you're listening to America's automotive radio show, Test Miles, on radio, on television, online, and on mobile, locally created and nationally celebrated. What's on today's show? Well, we've been test driving some cars from the Test Miles garage. We'll tell you all about those. We're also going to find out about how Cadillac is shaking things up. Bill Mack from Cadillac, the global project manager, is going to give us the inside scoop on the new car, the CT6. And Andy Colley from AT&T, he's the director of communications. They're going to shake things up as far as connecting your car is concerned. We've got some testing of product, and Jeff Zerschmied is going to be here to tell us all about the Nissan Sentra and also some ice driving that we both did together last week in Colorado. What have I been driving this week? I have been in a car which I am gloriously happy about. It's the new Mini Clubman, the 2016. The Clubman, of course, they like to call it the estate car of the car family. It's most Americans would know it as a wagon. It's the wagon version. Now, so much bigger, it's the size of a RAV4, and that's one of the cars it competes with. It has 4 additional inches on the axle and makes the longest Mini to date, 47.9 cubic feet of cargo space. Some cool things inside, refrigerated cooled glove box located in the area you'd expect that to be. And it also has a very cool Mini logo which projects out of the mirrors on the side. But apart from that, Mini owners have been saying they wanted more space and a bigger space inside the car. They got it in this vehicle, 1.5-liter turbo 3-cylinder, or if you go up to the S, you can get a bigger engine, up to 189 horsepower, 8-speed shifter, automatic, an 8-speed, and then a 6-speed manual. I like the idea of the manual in this because they have got their gearbox down, I would say, almost perfectly in this vehicle. Some manuals I've driven in the past, remember, I haven't been driving as long as Brad's been driving, but some
automatic. What's an automatic?
Yeah, exactly.
Brad's used to horses pulling
real horses.
Yeah.
Yes. With your manual was how big your whip was, right?
That's right.
So the 6-speed manual is absolutely outstanding. Word on the street, we're going to get a plug-in hybrid version of this and an all-wheel drive. 20, 25, 35 as far as fuel economy, but what does it compete with? Kind of confusing to what this car competes with. It's hard to find true competition. You have to kind of look at segments. The Golf is kind of a competitor. The Audi A4 wagon, kind of competitor. The Volvo V60 wagon, kind of a competitor. The Fiat 500L, kind of a competitor. But none of those are real competitors with this car. It kind of stands on its own. There is, of course, the Clubman, the Coupe, and the S version. This vehicle, I would say, is probably very cool as far as tech is concerned. It has this sort of BMW, who own Mini, their iDrive system, but a better version of it on the inside. Like all of the Minis gone by, it still uses that center console space right in the middle to have its navigation screen in. It used to be where the speedometer was. Now it has the navigation system there, and it uses the sort of the BMW iDrive system that BMW have, but it's the Mini version, which I kind of like it more.
I was actually shocked because I drove around with you with that one day, and just how much I really love this car.
Right.
I know it's a Mini and it's fun to drive, but it's just like some of the luxury features you're talking about. It's shocking. And there's tons of legroom in the back. Like I was sitting in the back with a guy that is twice my size, and I had plenty of room.
That's the one thing I hear from most people. Plenty of room in the back of this car. The Chesterfield sofa-style seats. You can also get the Union flag embroidered on that. When I say Union flag, that's the correct word. You probably know it as Union Jack. But it's only a jack if it's on a ship. And you can get that also. They're going to have the Union flag on the roof of the convertible as well. The thing I like most about this is from the key fob, you can press it and open those barn doors at the back. So they just open, they're like spring-loaded barn doors, and you can also wave your foot underneath as well.
You're saying barn doors, not bond doors.
Barn,
okay.
B-A-R.
I thought maybe they opened up and there was a machine gun in the back that was shooting out.
No. Bond doors. So starting price $24,000 and change. Go up to low 30s if you start to tick all the boxes. I think it's really reasonable. In fact, I'm absolutely considering getting one. I think the car fits me perfectly. Jen said it fits me perfectly. So I think the car fits me perfectly. Also been driving probably one of the most stable and staple mid-size sedans is the Kia Optima. This car, I would tell you, I probably recommended to more people than any other mid-size sedan. Here's the deal with the Kia Optima. Go look at the competition, look at the price, look at the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's really hard to beat for what you get.
And compare the options that you get on the Optima that come in at the base level that you're talking about versus the other vehicles and the add-on cost.
Right. I mean, you're talking about $1,500 to $2,000 less than an optimal, let's say a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry. Look, I love those brands too, but this car to me speaks a lot more to my generation. I think it's a lot more sexy. I think it has a lot more of those buttons and dials and plugins that everybody wants in the XY generation. Up to 248 horsepower, 6-speed automatic or a 7-speed dual clutch. It's has trim levels everywhere from the very base car that you would just get all of the base stuff in, right the way up to full luxury, high-end leather.
Isn't there a plug-in hybrid as well?
Yeah, there's a hybrid. I don't think there's a plug-in hybrid.
No, there's no plug-in.
Yeah, that's right.
Front-wheel drive, 29 miles a gallon is the best you can get. It has 5 different trim levels, so you can find everything. And the Uvo system, I love the Kia's Uvo system, which is basically their infotainment system. You can use phone, you can track, you can have things like geofencing in it. It can give you service dates. They've done a great job with that system as well. Smartphone integration is great. 21,990 starts. You can get it up to about 36 if you completely load the vehicle. All right, Sean, what have you been test driving this week?
I actually had a nice 2-door luxury coupe with the Lexus RCF, and I love this car. I wish Lexus actually made every car look like this, feel like this, and performance, luxury, everything. This embarrasses the rest of the luxury brand, or Lexus brand.
Right. I think the NX and the RX and the RCF are their 3 sort of new ideas of Lexus. And they've done really well with
the interior on this thing is so beautiful. The only thing I do not like about this car is on the interior is just the radio and the way it's set up. It looks a little 80s, and I wish they had updated because everything is so modern and touch everything, and it's just they have this old school radio that they had back in the 80s and that. But the performance on this vehicle is awesome. It is a 5-liter V8, 467 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, 8-speed automatic, rear-wheel drive, gets 16 miles and 25 on the highway. Its competitors are the BMW M4 Coupe, Mercedes-Benz AMG C-Class, and the Audi RS5. And driving this vehicle is just fantastic. I took it up to the mountains. It hugs the corners. It's a nice sports car, and it has this beautiful luxury look to it. There's spindle grille. I can't complain. You can get into it for $62,000, and
I can complain about that.
Well, but what you're talking, almost 500 horsepower vehicle, you're not getting in too many cars under that. I mean, other than maybe a Scat Pack.
Right.
So,
which I'm not sure that really competes with anyway.
Yeah, but I just, it's a great vehicle and great styling. I wish they put more of the styling cues into this car into the other Lexus brand.
I said it a year ago. I think Lexus are kicking backside, and I think they're going to make some big changes. And I think Toyota too. I think they realized that they canceled the Scion brand this week. We all kind of knew that was coming. They had sold 170,000 vehicles in 2006. Last year it was just down to 60,000 vehicles and 58 something and change. We all saw that coming with Scion, and I think Toyota kind of got real all of a sudden.
Well, they need to. They need to have some fun with their brands. I mean, no offense to them, they are a safe, reliable brand, and that's kind of been their whole MO for how long. And this vehicle actually is total opposite of it. It's fun to drive, and I mean, obviously, you're getting the reliability of owning a Lexus. So
right, absolutely.
How can you lose?
And what was the price again?
$64,885.
Brad, tell me you haven't got something so painful.
No, I have the 2016 car of the year that I got to drive was the new Civic.
Okay.
Little controversial for me because that wasn't going to be my choice for car of the year. However, this is Honda's longest running nameplate, largest selling model globally. They've sold 22 million cars globally. 75% of the Civics sold since 1991 are still on the road. So that is the huge drawing card for this, is that they last forever and people like the car. And for 2016, they kind of went off the grid a little bit. Honda's been very safe. They've gone with what they call the dynamic rejuvenation. And led by the Accord and the Pilot, you kind of see the precursors to the dramatic changes that you're going to see in the styling for this car.
Right.
It's dramatic. And some people love it, some people hate it.
Sales are up 47% of Civics, so somebody likes it.
A lot of people really like it. So their goal was to lead the class in the C-Class segment, that compact class, but then compete, rival with some of the luxury compacts. So they have two new engines, the 2.0 liter and then the 1.5 turbo. Both average about 35 miles per gallon overall.
That's what I've heard the best about this car is the engines. Haven't driven it yet, but I've heard the best.
It's weird. Talked to Sean about it. Looks sporty, looks everything else. It just didn't fit my eye when I was inside, and people loved it, and I assumed I had to love it, and maybe it was because of anticipation, and I expected so much more for the car, and then when I got in it...
one of the things I would tell you, and a counter-argument to that is, this is aimed at an audience that's about 80 years younger than you.
Good point. It's aimed for my sons. Yes.
Styling of it. I mean, it does have some nice styling cues on the outside. The brake lights are this nice V-shape, angled, and really aggressive look.
And I think one of the nice features is that you can get in a base car that drives really well with the manual for under $19,000.
Right.
So that is a heck of a buy for a really stylish, nice, compact sedan that gets great gas mileage.
You know what blows me away? When you look at this car next to the Civics of the 70s.
I did, with my mother-in-law's car.
It's about twice the size.
It is. It is no longer a compact sedan.
So
it is, but...
You wouldn't buy it. It's not a Brad car.
I tend to prefer like the Mazda 3. That is just more to my eye and more to my liking.
Okay.
But still great. I mean, great car, great value, and it'll last forever.
All right. I'm looking forward to spending some time in that Civic. Coming up, we're going to be talking about Cadillac, and we're going to find out all about how the company has revolutionized what they're doing as far as luxury cars are concerned. The new CT6, Bill Mack from Cadillac, is going to be on the phone telling us how that brand has changed. You're listening to Test Miles, FM News 101 KXL. I'm Nick Miles.